Hey there, I'm Angela Andrieux. In this video, we'll look at ways to add detail and drama to a nighttime cityscape photograph. I'll walk you through the process of adding selective adjustments in Aurora HDR to bring out detail in the city skyline and show you how to intensify the textures and colors of the night sky. We'll be working with 5 bracketed exposures of downtown Norfolk, Virginia, with the Elizabeth River in the foreground. We'll transform these raw files into a vibrant, detailed cityscape. All right, let's dive in. We've already opened our bracketed photos in Aurora HDR and are ready to start processing. Our first step is to apply a quick preset to the base layer called Cityscape at Night. It will tone down the highlights and add a bit of contrast to give us a better starting point. If you want to try the Cityscape at Night preset on your own photos, you can download it from the Skyline blog. Once you've downloaded and installed the preset, you can find it by opening the preset panel, navigating to the User Presets category, and selecting Cityscape at Night. Next, we'll close the presets panel and add our first adjustment layer. We'll go to the plus symbol below the histogram and click on Add New Adjustment Layer. The buildings and sky could use some extra detail and contrast. In the HDR Basic panel, I'll choose HDR Enhance and drag that slider significantly to the right. I really like what this effect did to the buildings and sky, but it added too much texture to the water in the foreground. To fix this, we'll add a gradient mask that will preserve the effect at the top, but remove the effect from the water in the foreground. Click on the brush icon on Layer 1 and select Gradient Mask. I want the gradient effect to blend from the bottoms of the buildings into the river without a harsh transition. I'll click a little bit above the bottoms of the buildings and drag my gradient down a little bit into the river so that my gradient has a smooth transition. Once I'm satisfied with the placement of my gradient, I can go ahead and click Done. Much better. We can toggle the visibility icon on Layer 1 to show the before and after our selective adjustment. In our next step, we'll work exclusively on the sky and clouds to enhance the textures and colors. Click on the plus button underneath the histogram and choose Add New Adjustment Layer. Next, click on the brush icon on Layer 2 and choose Brush. With the brush activated, toggle the mask visibility icon to show the mask. By default, the entire image is masked with red, which means any filter used will affect the entire image. Once we start painting with our brush, the view will switch and only the areas that we've painted will appear red and be affected by any filters we add on this layer. Making sure our brush is in paint mode, we'll create a small, soft-edged brush and start painting the area around the buildings. It's okay to let the feathered edge of the brush slightly overlap the buildings, as it will minimize any halos and make a smooth transition. Once we've selected the detail areas, we can enlarge the brush, make the edge a bit harder, and then quickly fill in the rest of the sky. Now that we've created our mask for the sky, you can click Done on the masking toolbar and start working on the sky. First, we'll brighten up the sky by increasing the exposure, adding a little bit more contrast, and moving the Smart Tone slider slightly to the right. Next, we'll add a tiny bit of structure using the HDR structure filter and move that amount slider just a little bit to the right. Be gentle with the slider because it can add a tremendous amount of noise to the sky if used with a heavy hand. Already the sky is looking better, but I'd like to bring a bit more contrast to the colors. To accomplish this, we'll scroll down to the HSL filter and choose the Luminance tab. To darken the blues, we'll move the blue slider to the left, and we'll move the magenta slider to the right to brighten the magenta tones. Let's toggle the visibility icon on Layer 2 to see our before and our after. The sky has a lot more detail, but if you zoom in, you'll notice that our edits have created quite a bit of noise. To fix this, we'll add the HDR denoise filter. Scroll up and click on the HDR denoise filter. Move the amount slider significantly to the right until the noise begins to disappear. Since we're still in the layer that is affecting only the sky, we don't need to worry about losing detail in our skyline. Let's zoom back out and take a look at what we've accomplished in layer 2. Here's our before, and here's our after. The difference is remarkable. Our final editing step is to add a vignette. We'll add one more adjustment layer by going to the plus button underneath the histogram and choosing Add New Adjustment Layer. Next, we'll scroll down to the vignette filter and drag the slider to the left until our edges are darkened. Perfect. Let's take a look at the before and after using our history panel. Here is what our photograph looked like as a default unedited HDR. And here is our finished photograph. What a huge difference. With the help of selective adjustments, layers, and masks, we were able to bring out the details and colors of the city skyline and sky. Now that we've finished editing our photo, we're ready to save it as a print-ready JPEG. We'll go to the File menu and choose Export. You'll start by choosing a name and a save location for your finished HDR, then set the amount of sharpening that you wish to apply. I've chosen medium because there's no sharpening added in our processing. Next, you can resize the image if you choose. I'm sticking with the original size. Since we're saving this image to print, most print labs request sRGB color space and JPEG format. Since we're printing this photo, we want to ensure that we have the best quality to work with, so I'll make sure the quality slider is set to high. Once you've finished choosing your export settings, click Save. Selective edits with layers and masks are vital post-processing tools for creating dynamic photographs. Whether you are seeking a natural or more dramatic effect, the tools used in this tutorial can help you enhance the colors and details of your images and take your cityscape and skyline photographs to the next level.